Hello everyone, I am Bill and I am the after-sales engineer of the welding department of SUDA Laser. It's my pleasure to introduce you the installation and tutorial of this handheld welding machine. First, we prepare some commonly used tools: pliers, wrench, and Allen key, big Phillips screwdriver, small slotted screwdriver, and argon meter, pure water, and gas. When you receive the machine, check everything before install. Here is our machine body, a wire feeder, and a toolbox. First, we need to add purified water to the chiller. Let's open the cabinet. Then, open the water inlet. We can add purified water or distilled water. Add water to the standard area we scaled out. That means the green area. In winter, if the temperature is below 0 centigrade, we need to add antifreeze in the water. Next, let's connect the gas to the welding machine. We have a gas pipe in our toolbox. One end is connected to the gas cylinder. The other end is connected to the machine air intake part. The gas can choose nitrogen, argon, or air. We recommend you to use argon. And here is the pressure gauge. Our argon pressure gauge should be adjusted to between 10 to 15. Next, let's connect the wire feeder to the power supply. Our wire feeder has a power cable and a signal cable. The power cable is in our toolbox. One end plugs into the right side of the wire feeder. The other end is plugged into the tertiary skirt of the fuselage here, and the signal cable is tied on the fuselage. We take it off and plug it into the left side of the wire feeder. Next, we power up the welding machine. Our welding machine's voltage are divided into two types: one 220 volts, one 380 volt. This unit is 220 volt. 220 volt are three wires: a leaf wire, a neutral wire, and an earth wire. 300 volts have three leaf wires, a neutral wire, and an earth wire, and our power supply. The circuit breaker is not less than 32 amps. Now we can power on the machine and turn on the main power. There are 4 buttons on the front of the panel of our machine. We turn on the buttons: urgent stop, start, chiller, laser source, one by one. First, turn on the urgent stop. Start the chiller. After turning on the chiller, we need to open the cabinet door. Observe whether the water level is in the standard green area. If it's lower than the standard area, we need to add purified water again and wait for the chiller to run. When the water temperature reaches about 20 degrees, turn on the laser button. Now, let me introduce the control panels. Our control panel is divided into 3 areas: process parameter area, function control area, and the function option area. First, let's see scan speed. Its adjustable range is 2 to 6,000. We normally adjust it to 300. The scan width is 0 to 6 millimeters. We normally adjust it to 2 to 3 millimeters. The peak power is adjustable according to the selection of the laser. We adjust the control ratio to 100%. The modulation pulse frequency range is 5 to 5,000. Normally, we adjust to 2 to 3,000. In the function control area, our switches are always on under normal circumstances. If the laser enable is turned off, there will be no laser. Indicates red light is on. Welding mode and continuous mode. Let's look at the functional options area. First, craft section. We have 9 craft libraries inside. It can be used for different plates at ordinary times. The current craft is displayed. It needs to be saved after the change. Import, return to the main interface. Second, settings section. Enter password 123456. OK. The parameters inside are set by us at our factory. Basically, you don't need to adjust those parameters. And there is a laser center offset, which we need to pay attention to. It is adjustable from +3 to -3. When the red light is not in the center of the tip, we need to adjust the parameters. Others do not need to be adjusted. Save it when you are done. Next, monitoring section. The monitoring means some feedback data of all functions when we use the welding machine. When there is an error, it will show up here. This is divided into the input signal status area, output signal status area, and equipment basic information area. Here is the diagnosis. Here is also manual control of various functions. We only need to check the air valve when we start the test. Let's see if there is air now. We can walk normally with air. Just open the valve. If we found that there was gas in the gun, then we're good to go. We can use it normally after a while. Return. Next, let's check the red light center point. Take the gun off first. We start by taking the soldering tip off. Glue masking tape. What we see now is the wobble form. The laser light should not be a beam of light. It should be a straight line. The red light we see now, it is a straight line. We need to turn off the indicator light on the software. Then look, now it's a point. That's it. We can see if the red light is in the center of the welded pipe. If it's not in the center, we click on Settings and enter the password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Click OK. For the laser center offset just mentioned, the adjustable range is +3 to -3. Check whether the light is in the center. Adjust the light to the center, then save and return. Just try the focus of the torch. First, put on your goggles, and then bring the safety lock. Clip to our welding gun. When clipped on the head of the gun, it can emit light. Do not put the light towards people because it's dangerous. Then loosen the thread. Lock the welded pipe to the back. Then find a certain distance away from the plate and start to emit light. Move the gun up and down to find the right position. When the light is strongest, we find our focus point. It's weaker, right? Slowly approach until the position is the strongest. Do not move the gun. Lock the barrel close to the plate. It is where our focus is. Then try welding it. This is where our focus is. After we find the focus, we can connect the wire feeder's wire feed tube to the welding gun. First, remove the screw that holds the wire feed tube. The wire fitting and the mouth are stuck together. Lock it after. Open the wire feeder. The data displayed here is the wire fitting speed. There are also manual wire fitting, manual retraction, running, stopping. If you don't want to feed the wire, you can just press stop. And if you need manual wire fitting, press it and the wire will return to the gun head. This is the retraction. Now, about the settings. Some of the parameters in the machine are set in the factory, but you can actually fine-tune it when it's necessary, especially for two parameters. One is the retraction length. The retraction length is the degree of retraction. The other is the wire path distance. The two parameters need to be well matched. After changing the parameters, you need to save and return. After the wire feeders is connected, we can call the parameters and try welding. Try spot welding first. The installation and tutorial part has been introduced before. Let me introduce our consumable materials now. One is the welding nozzle and the other is the protective lens. Here are the 8 different types of nozzles. Welding nozzle are for the function with and without wire feeding, like this one. Be used for flat vertical welding. This is also used for flat vertical welding, but it has a wire feed. The grooves here represents the thickness of its welding wire. This is without wire feeding. And this is the cutting nozzle, which can be used for cutting. This one is used for inside flat weld. These two types indicate that the thickness of the feeding wire is different. We have wire feeding nozzles from 0.8 to 1.6. Here is the protective lens. The lens is 18 by 2. Let me introduce some precautions of the replacement of the protective lens and nozzles. First, we need to prepare a piece of white paper and masking tape. Replace the protective lens first. Put a piece of white paper under it and release the screw. Pull it out and put it on the clean paper. Tear off the tape. Block the entrance. It's very important to prevent dust get into the gun. And then you can rotate the notch to remove it. Replacement of the protective lens. Try to keep your hands as clean as possible during the process. Put it back to spin. Make sure the lens is in the groove. Screw on put on. Fasten the screw. Now we're good to go. Let's introduce the replacement of the nozzle. First, we put the gun towards the ground to prevent dust from entering the welding pipe. Select the suitable nozzle according to the thickness of the wire. Then, rotate the direction of the clamp, the wire in the wire feed nozzle. Ensure smooth wire feeding during welding. The installation and tutorial of this handheld welding machine is basically over. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please contact our after-sales service. Thank you all. Bye-bye.